Enkidu was gone. For the first time, Gilgamesh walked not as a king, but as a man searching for a way to escape death. He no longer feared monsters. The only enemy left was time itself. Every passing night reminded Gilgamesh that every human life eventually reaches its end. Beyond those mountains lay the path that no ordinary human had ever completed. The gateway of Mashu marked the border between the world of humans and the unknown. The entrance was guarded by beings feared even by kings. The guardians sensed that the traveler before them carried both royal blood and unbearable sorrow.
No mortal had ever dared to enter the path beyond Mashu.
For hours he walked through darkness, untouched by the sun.
After endless darkness, the first light appeared. But Gilgamesh's greatest trials still lay ahead.
Beyond the darkness lay a place no mortal eyes were meant to witness, the Garden of the Gods. The beauty of the garden could not distract him. His heart sought only one answer. Beyond the sacred garden, the edge of the world awaited. Waiting at the world's edge was Siduri, the wise keeper who had watched countless travelers pass. Siduri saw not a mighty king, but a man carrying unbearable grief.
Siduri directed Gilgamesh toward the only man who could carry him farther, the boatman Urshanabi.
The boatman had guided few travelers. None had journeyed this far. Their destination lay beyond waters no ordinary person could cross.
These were the waters of death. Even touching them meant certain doom.
At the end of the waters of death stood the home of the only human said to have conquered mortality.
After a journey unlike any other, the island finally appeared beyond the horizon.
At last, Gilgamesh reached Utnapishtim, the man who had survived the Great Flood and received a fate unlike any other human.
The long journey had finally reached its destination. Before him stood the man who carried the memory of an ancient world. The island remained silent. There was no need for haste. The journey itself had already revealed much.
The lesson began with a simple truth. No human strength, no royal power, and no heroic victory could stop time.
Then Utnapishtim revealed the secret of his fate, and the story turned back to the days before the Great Flood.
In the ancient story, the gods gathered in council. A terrible decision was made concerning humanity.
Across the land, people continued their lives, unaware that the division of the gods had already placed their world in danger. Ea could not openly break the divine command. Instead, he warned Utnapishtim through signs, symbols, and the wall of his house. Utnapishtim obeyed the warning. He began building a great vessel, while the people around him failed to understand what was approaching.
Before the flood began, Utnapishtim gathered his family, his workers, his supplies, and the living creatures that would survive with him. One by one, every living soul entered the vessel. When the great doors finally closed, there was no turning back. Then the first drops began to fall. The heavens opened with a force no living generation had ever witnessed. The rivers burst beyond their banks, swallowing the land with unstoppable force.
The familiar world disappeared beneath the water.
Day and night became impossible to distinguish beneath the endless storm. Nothing remained except water, sky, and the solitary vessel. At last, the fury of the storm began to fade. As the waters withdrew, the highest mountains slowly returned to the world. After the longest storm in memory, the vessel finally came to rest upon the mountain. The storm had ended, but the world below was still hidden beneath the waters. With each passing day, the waters slowly surrendered the highest peaks. To learn whether the earth had returned, the first bird was released. The bird found no resting place and returned. A second bird was sent to search beyond the waters.
It too returned, for the earth had not yet fully emerged.
Then a raven was released. The raven found dry land and did not return. At last, the survivors stepped back onto the earth. In gratitude for survival, an offering was prepared upon the mountain. The offering rose toward the heavens, drawing the attention of the great powers once again. One among them was angered that humanity had endured. Wisdom tempered anger before greater destruction could begin. The survivors' fate would never again be the same. The ancient memory faded, returning once more to the quiet island. The story had ended, but the traveler's search had not. He had crossed the world, yet the answer still remained beyond his reach. Exhaustion finally overcame even the strongest of kings. Sleep claimed him long before he realized it. The first day passed in silence, and the challenge had already begun. The first day passed, yet the traveler never opened his eyes.
Day after day, sleep continued to hold him. When he finally awoke, the trial had already ended. One final opportunity still remained.
Beneath the water rested a plant unlike any other.
He found the plant that promised renewed youth.
For a brief moment, hope rested within his hands.
The serpent claimed the gift that humanity would never possess.
The final chance had slipped away.
Gilgamesh returned without immortality, yet he discovered a greater truth. A human life is remembered not by how long it lasts, but by what it leaves behind.